Welcome to D&D Conversations Over Coffee. I'm Jen the Blind Bard, here in Tailweaver's Tavern, and ready to discuss anything D&D and TTRPG. And today, we're trying Bones Strawberry Shortcake Coffee. Let's see. I love it. I think it is much better in a small cup, but I love large cups of coffee, so I'm okay with this. I would definitely get this again. So I hope everyone had a great 4th of July holiday. I know I did. What did everyone else do for the 4th? I got together with some friends and family and saw a fireworks show right outside our complex, so it was great. So what's the biggest thing you are currently struggling at your table right now? If I could make one video to help you, what would you want to know more about? Excuse me. Moving on to Star Wars news and our current game. We leveled up, I think we got 40 XP, and we leveled up last night. And man, the process of leveling up is just insane. Even with Ogdude, there are so many options, so many trees to pick from, and you really have to think strategically because you can't just buy one thing. Like if you see something that's down the tree a ways, you have to buy to it so you get that thing and whatever else comes before it. So it's just strategy, right? Like build the character you want to build and know what you want to do before you buy a career tree. I've always been partial to lightsaber trees, but I don't have a lightsaber right now. I don't even have a crystal, so that didn't make much sense for my character at this point. I think I chose the shadow tree, which has a lot of stealth stuff. So we'll see how that works. So Ogdude, I tried to create a new character using Ogdude, and I discovered that you can't run a .exe file on Apple devices. So I tried to use my husband's Surface Go tablet with Narrator. And it was an interesting experience because when I looked at the touch gestures for Narrator, it seemed pretty straightforward, right? Like swiping left and right and up and down will do things. Double tapping does the same thing as it does on the Apple devices, but it works different. Like, I don't know. I couldn't get it to open. I got to the new character tab, but I couldn't get it to open a new character. I double tapped on new and it just did nothing. And after 20 minutes of going round in circles, I'm like, okay, I need to table this for tonight and figure it out later. I think the hardest thing about learning a new system is not only am I learning how to use Ogdude because I've never used it, I'm also learning how to use Narrator at the same time. And just because you know it on the computer doesn't mean you know it on the tablet and vice versa. So that's going to take a little while to learn, but I can do it, just with practice. I think maybe using Ogdude on the computer would be easier, but I have to check and make sure I have enough space. My husband thinks I should, but my computer is 20 years. It's from 2018, so it's not a new computer, and it was also VR issued, so it doesn't have a lot of space on it. So we'll have to see. I might need to wait to upgrade, till I get a new computer to figure that part out. But we'll see. That's going to be my task for this week coming. So if you have Yep. I'm going to have my husband put on screen where you guys can download Ogdude. because it really is an incredible tool, and it's just so useful. And also the other point is, the other point is, thinking about independence and character updating and such. Sometimes it's easier and faster to ask for assistance with this than trying to do it yourself. Like, I was thinking about it. It's like, yes, I really should learn how to use Ogdude and upgrade my own character. That would give me a lot of independence and freedom. But at the same time, I think it's a process, like it's a gradual process. And you shouldn't be worrying about doing it all at once. It shouldn't be an all or nothing thing. Like, transition to it, learn as you go, right? So in my case, I experimented with narrator on the tablet a little bit, but thinking about it realistically, do I want it to take me 3 hours to upgrade my character? Or would it be okay to ask for assistance from my husband to read me some of the options and work through it that way? And it takes like 15 minutes. So you have to think about your time. And, if you're going to, if that's the eventual goal that you want to get to upgrade the characters yourself, that's a great goal to have. And it's something you should strive for, but I wouldn't base it on like a one-time thing. I would practice at it before you go do it on your own, just so you can get faster at it. That's the strategy I'm choosing to take, because it's not like Jaws. Narrator is not like Jaws, and the touch commands are different. So yeah, and I'm learning both programs at the same time, and that's always going to take longer. Like, if I knew Ogdude before and I was only learning narrator, that would be one thing, but I'm learning both of them at the same time, and that always slows down progress. So if you're in the same boat I am, just give yourself some grace. And if anyone has any tips on how to use Ogdude with narrator, drop them in the comments, because that would really help. Let me know your top tips. So what happened during last week's session? I think when we left off last time, we were just reaching the top of the roof, and so we all split up and ran around the center console. There were troops up there. There was the sergeant up there and engineers. So Lex and Digital Jawa opened fire. I think Lex went right. Digital Jawa went center, left. And together we took out the guards and engineers. And Suga went right. And so we engaged the squad troopers and sergeant. Risque and Dania fought the sergeant with hand-to-hand combat until he surrendered. And Digital Jama and Lex took out the remaining troops. One of the engineers got killed. The rest of them surrendered, and we took the gun turret, which was good. So we noticed that there was a extra ship approaching us, and it would take 3 minutes to get there. And we tried to deceive them and wave them off, but they weren't biting. So we decided to attempt to shoot the ship. And so since we took over the gun turret, that was easy. We managed to fire 3 rounds and took them out. But then we had a new problem. We tried to hack the gun to see if we could disable it. And it turned out that the gun wasn't able to be disabled that way. we had to go manual. So we recovered the blueprints of the building and manual instructions on how to disable the gun. So we went to the maintenance hatch and attempted to disable it down there. Suga rigged it to explode on next juice, which in hindsight doesn't make a whole lot of sense because we just took the turret. So anyone who is going to be using it probably would be one of us. So there was a miscommunication because no one can really understand Suga because she's a Jawa. Dana thought that she was telling us that it was going to explode like imminently. So he called for an evacuation of the roof. And everyone ran except for Suga, who she tried to hack the data system and download the digital blueprints to her data pad. But she ended up bricking the computer and resetting it to factory settings. And the data pad ended up getting wiped. So we lost all the tactical information we had already required. And then we didn't get the blueprints. So but DJ also, Digital Jawa, also searched for her name because remember, she's trying to find out who stole her identity. And she found Sierra Enclave. Now, we don't know what that is. It could be a ship. It could be an organization. It could be the name of a person. We don't know. So there's that lead to go on. And then we went to the CIS headquarters with the sergeant who was already captured. We went to the local staging area to meet with the general. Lex and Sugar debriefed elsewhere because they already work for CIS. But we were offered... Oh, that's right, because they are spies. Yes. That was part of their backstory. So we were offered the chance to work for CIS as well. We didn't have to, but if we didn't, they would just cut us loose and we wouldn't have any support anyway. So we decided to take them up on the offer. And we were issued some gear. So we were freelancers. We realized that we were expendable, but we accepted anyway because we got some really cool stuff issued to us, like data spikes and stim packs and all sorts of stuff. Our first mission is to take out the communications at the Republic base. And so the rest of the session was spent trying to do that. It's funny because we game from maybe 3 to 8:39, for the regular game. But since Matt was there and my other friends were on their way home, we decided to continue playing, and we had like a little mini game, and that was really fun. I hope we do that more. So the rest of the session was spent planning for this communication dismemberment, and Digital Jawa searched for her name, and she found a partial ID code. Now, she doesn't know what that means. She doesn't even have the whole thing, but it's something to go on. So I'm not sure if we're going to be playing today It depends if my friend Matt is available. But if we are, we're definitely going to continue that angle and see what happens. And hopefully we don't all die. So let's talk about what's going to be happening next. I'm going to be streaming with Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo on Friday, July 11th. And that's going to be talking with Matt Shoemaker. I believe he's an artist. Excuse me, I can't talk this morning. Gold badge holders already chose their events on Thursday, and I'm super excited because for the first time, I'm going to be playing a ton of games at the con. Last year, I focused on the panels and shopping. This year, I want to be playing games for most of the time, and we've got some great ones. Dark Space, and we've got, I think the page is having an event where they're doing three sessions, and it's a page event. So these are not necessarily connected to each other. They're standalone, but they do connect. So, and then, if you're lucky, you can qualify for a game on Sunday, which will be decided on Saturday night. But it should be a lot of fun, and I can't wait. I think con-specific events like this are really fun, and I can't wait to do that. And I'm also going to be on Friday doing a Gaming Beyond Sight seminar, where I'm going to be talking about all kinds of things, related to how we can help make the gaming experience a better experience for blind and visually impaired players. We're going to tackle things like theater of the mind and a whole bunch of other stuff. And if there's anything you're wondering about, make sure to comment, and I'll try to include it in my seminar. But the only way you're going to get to see that is if you sign up for page 3. So the next opportunity to choose events will be July 14th, I believe. So yeah, July 14th, I think it's I'm pretty sure. And then July 22nd after that. So I think the 14th is only going to be for 4-day badge holders. And then the 22nd will be for everyone else, single day and stuff. But if you have an opportunity to go to Page, I would highly recommend it. There are over 100 guests at Page 3. And a lot of them are people that we all recognize, like Professor DM and Baron Durop, Bob Wobilder, Frank Menser, Heidi Gygax, and you can always learn more about it on the Philadelphia Area Expo channel and Friday Night Live, which is 9:30 on Friday nights, EST. And until then, may your rolls be high, your spirits higher, and may your voice always weave wonders. Well, unless anyone has any questions. See you later, everybody.